All right, today we are going to be talking about the TandemKross Shadow Mount version 2.0. It's a 1022 or Ruger Charger scope mounting, or I should say red dot mounting system that mounts to the top of the receiver and gives you near universal optics mounts. So the way you can mount this is either fore or aft. Let's see where it lines up there. So it covers the receiver, and we can mount it like that, I believe. Maybe backwards. Yeah, so you can go either forward or aft. And I have this Vortex Razor red dot, 3MOA dot, that I had mounted to the factory Chargers Picatinny scope rail mount that was full length, and then it had this clamping system that mounted to that. So I wanted a more clean solution, so I figured I would take this mount, let's pull the dot off there, and move it to this TandemKross mount. I think that will be cleaner. It gives me more versatility. It should be better, but let's take a look at it. So we're able to get rid of this clamp mount from what comes with the Vortex. And basically this optics mount here is meant for the Vortex Viper, Venom, Razor, the Seymour Railway, RTS, the Burris Fastfire 2 or Fastfire 3, the Leopold Delta Point Pro, the Trijicon RMR, RMR2, and the Holosun 508 and 507 optics. So it basically has a bunch of different configurations. They give you this little baggie full of parts. So we'll see if I have the tools in front of me. If not, I'll go pause and go get the right tools for it. But this is the first time I'm opening it. You guys are seeing it just as much as I am. So let's see what we got here. Looks like a couple little gaskets. Got some screws, and definitely don't want to get rid of any of these parts, because if you change optics in the future, you're going to want to put them back on. So since I'm using the Vortex Razor, I'm going to look at the little chart on their website. They have a chart, a little PDF that has all the different hole positions and what you use for each different optic. So we're looking for the Razor. It can do forward facing or rear facing. I haven't quite decided if I like that or that. I'm thinking I'll just do a forward mount just to be get it away from my eye a little bit more. So we'll do forward mount, and we need a medium flathead. So they have these flatheads here, and then there's those are mediums. These look like longs. Oh, actually, those might be short, because I think these are the mediums. Okay, so it looks like we have short, medium, long on the flatheads. So it says using the medium flathead, so that should be these two. So I'll segregate these two. And then it says the dowel pin using a small diameter dowel pin. So there's two diameters, large and small. So there's the large diameters right there. And here's the small diameter, so I'm going to take those to the side because that's what I'm going to use for this setup. Okay, and then it says a Delrin plate you do not need. I assume that's what these are, although these kind of feel like rubber to me, so I'm not really sure what they're calling them. Allen wrench, 1/16 supplied, so I need that. And then the holes used if we are doing over ejection port, which I assume is the front mount, because it says holes used over ejection port or over rear sight. So I'm assuming this is the over the ejection port mount. So we'll talk about that one. So in over the ejection port, the Razor needs 7A, 8A, 13A, and 14A. So 7A and 8A are, looks like it is 7A is two in front of this main one. So this one and this one. So 7A and 8A, these two larger holes, which look to be, since they're not threaded, they look like they are these peg holes for studs. And yep, on the bottom of the razor, we have matching receptors for those. And yep, look at that. That locks that down on there. All right, but let's just see what else holes we need here. So 7A and 8A, and then 13A and 14A. 13A is the rear one, so that would be this one and this one. So these two, which looks to be, let's get these lined up. Correct. So these are these two screws here and here. I assume they're using these two screws to mount to there. So then we have to find the screws that mount the unit to the gun, which I believe are these two capped screws right here. And let's see if that's the right tool. Okay, so I'm going to do a dry run with no thread locking compound. I don't want to tighten it down too much right now, but yes, this is the right screw. These little short cap head screws. So we're going to line that up. Let's see which one lines up where. Okay, so if we're going over the ejection port, we need to find the holes that line up, which looks like it's that one and that one. So we're going to do that one and that one. Okay. Get this just kind of finger tight real quick. And then we will get the optic on it. So and this tool looks to be not included. So let me go pause and get the right size Allen wrench for that, and then we'll tighten it back up and keep moving. Okay, I'm back with the proper tools for the screws to receiver action there, but I also decided while I'm here I better get a blue Loctite for the screws, and I better put these plugs into the two unused holes now, because they will blow gases up out of the hole if I don't. So I hope everybody remembered to save those screws when they got their 1022s. They're the little plugs that take up the screw hole. So I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to put one here because it looks like the TandemKross scope mount, red dot mount, only uses 2 of the 4 holes. So we don't want to let those threads get screwed up at all, and we want to plug them up with the plugs. And they are not easy to get in, apparently. It's a very small screwdriver. It's basically a shaft of a screw, set screw, with a little bit of a slot cut in it. I would have preferred a Allen wrench, but they're probably too small, so. Okay, so now we're there. The other thing to check when you're doing this, if you put set screws in, make sure they didn't go too far where they are sticking out down here. They will, if you had too long a screw in here, it would rub the bolt and it would create all sorts of havoc. So we got that in. Now we can start mounting the optics mount here. Got the right bit. I put a little bit of blue Loctite on this back screw already, and we're just going to start it in there. And then I'm going to pull this front one out. Just put a little dab Loctite on that one. I like to use the blue so it comes out. This is a aluminum receiver, so you don't want to get too much in there. It'll make it a bear to get back out. So it doesn't need to be a lot of torque. I believe it's 20-ish pounds. I'm using a screwdriver here, so let's just get a little bit kind of snug plus a little bit. I could use the Wheeler fat wrench on this, but I got it close enough there. Okay, so now we have that mounted. And we don't need these screws. These screws and these plates should be extra. I can pull those to the side, get them out of the view. And that should be left with, I've got the 2 locating pins left on it. And then I'm going to use these 2 screw hole positions. I'm going to drop those out, get the optic on there. I'm just going to put a little dab of blue Loctite on these as well. I like this glue stick style better. It's way easier to use than the liquid stuff. The liquid stuff is fine. It's just messy. It's harder for me to control, it seems like. So I like the glue stick style. Gonna get that just snugged in there. And then we're gonna get this one Loctited. And then I'm gonna stick it in there. This Allen wrench was provided with the TandemKross setup. Just gonna go a little bit. And a little bit more on this one. I think we are in business. So that is a very clean mount. I believe that would be a sturdy setup. Nice plate, tang. And then it goes into the locating pins. Sticks a little bit proud of the barrel there, so it looks like a little overhang. Have the Optic mounted nice and forward. There's no clamps to deal with. Just use the original mounting screws and then 2 screws into the receiver body itself. I think that'll be very nice. This will be a nice setup when we're done here. So that is the TandemKross Optics mount. It is that's the extractor. That's the auto bolt release. It is the Shadow Mount version 2.0, the TandemKross Shadow Mount version 2.0. I'll put a link to the mount and the Optic in the description below if you want to buy your own.